What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. So I've had the Asus Zenfone 11 Ultra for about a week now, and I gotta tell you, I really do like this device, and I want to start things off with this design. I think you'll get used to it, especially if you're used to using larger phones. If you're coming from the Asus Zenfone 10, which is the compact flagship, it may take some time to get used to, but I really do like it. Asus did a pretty good job, and this really does resemble the Asus ROG Phone 8 in terms of like its build, camera cutout, and whatnot. I got the Skyline Blue right here. I love this Asus Zenfone logo. It says Asus Zenfone right here. Like the back is it feels pretty minimal, but gives that nice look with the logo just embodied onto the back. It's got a glass back, which I do like. It's got the metal, or it's got the aluminum frame, which is a matte black finish, and I do really like that. It has a headphone jack for those who continue to use a headphone jack. I mean, it's good to see that there are companies that are still keeping that. This display has been phenomenal. It's not Quad HD. That's okay though. It still is a AMOLED display, LTPO 6.78 inch, 120 hertz. 144 hertz in gaming mode. Gets pretty bright, 1600 nits at HBM, and a max peak brightness of 2500 nits. I love the display, and it's the part of the phone you use the most. And for me, I've been playing lots of games on this. I've been watching lots of YouTube videos, browsing the web, using it for social media, and it's very vibrant. You can't go wrong with this display. I got to give credit to Asus for that. Everything else about it though, the build is really nice. It just stands out from the crowd. The camera cutout is a little bit thing. Like when you put it on a table on a flat surface, like it really does rock. But if you don't, and it's always in your hand or whatnot, you'll be completely fine. The fingerprint sensor it's not the best fingerprint sensor I've ever used, but it's all right. It doesn't have it's not ultrasonic, so it's shining light when you're using the fingerprint sensor. It's all right. Like it could be better, but hopefully that's something for next year. The performance though, it's great. Why? Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. These are things to be expected. Now here in the US, that's the only configuration you can pick up with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. There is a model with 16 gigs of RAM and more storage, but I haven't been able to find it on Asus's US website or on Amazon for that matter. But it's fine. 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It has tackled everything I've thrown at it, from watching videos to playing games and using it for social media, calling and texting. It has been great. The software side of things has also been buttery smooth. There's been no hiccups or bugs. The one thing I really do like is when you're setting up this device, or you can change it later on, is the fact that Asus gives you an option to choose between like a stock Android user interface or Asus Zen UI or user interface. And I went with Asus Zen UI because they do throw in a couple extra of their own custom features, but it still feels very stock Android. Like I like this notification bar right here. You have to pull from the upper right. If you pull from the left, it just brings down your notifications. I like it. It's not too bad, something to get used to, but nonetheless, it's something different and unique. The one downside of this device, and with other Asus devices, you're only going to get around 2 years of software updates. And this is running Android 14, so I can expect 15 and 16 to be on board, but that's about it. And when phones are getting so good with their performance, with their cameras, with their software, it's normal to hold onto your phone even longer than before. Having a phone from 2020 is still going to work perfectly fine in 2024 for most cases, especially if it was a flagship. This is Asus's flagship device, so you'd expect to have at least 4 or 5 years of software updates, but as of right now, it's only around 2 years. So Asus, please push out more software updates for your devices and have them last longer. Like the Zenfone 10 is also 2 years. That came out with Android 13, and mine is running Android 14. And once you push out Android 15, that's it. Asus Zenfone 10 is not going to be updated. So please, Asus, just push out more software updates. At least 3 or 4 years would be fine. I'm not asking for 7 years like Samsung or Pixel, but it wouldn't be nice to have at least 3 or 4 years, at least push out the life cycle of your devices. The camera is all right, like it's good. For me, I'm not a big like phone camera guy, so like I'm fine using it, but if you're really picky about the camera quality, then, and if you want something like iPhone-like quality, obviously you're not going to get it with here, but it still has the wide 50 megapixel, which gimbal OIS included, a 32 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom, and 13 megapixel ultra. Again, if you're looking for like that iPhone quality, both in camera, photos and video, or if you want something like 100x zoom, like with Samsung's camera, you're not going to get it here. The results are good. But again, I'll let you be the judge, and it does ultimately come down to preference. I'm fine using this device's camera. Like, I'm not too picky about it. But again, I'll let you be the judge and let you choose if you like the camera, the photo results. Let's talk about the battery life, because it's the best part about this device. And I gotta say, the 5500 milliamp hour battery with 65 watts of fast charging is phenomenal. First of all, it has a larger battery than the S24 Ultra I've been using before this, and it has faster charging, wire charging, than the Galaxy S24 Ultra. It also has wireless and reverse wireless charging too, and this was meant for heavy users like me. It has very almost near stock Android user interface with software. It has a large battery, fast charging. It's easily a 2-day phone for me. I'm easily hitting 8 hours of screen on time, and it has been performed better than the Galaxy S24 Ultra in terms of battery life as well as charging speed. So if battery life is an important factor for you and charging speeds is an important factor for you when picking up a smartphone, definitely do consider this. Now, I know 65 watts is not like, it's not as fast as 80 watts or 100 watts or 120 watts, but 65 watts should be the standard, especially in 2024. And we're just not getting it with companies like Google and Apple and Samsung. So please push out faster charging speeds. Good job, Asus, in the battery department. It really is meant for heavy users. And if you're not a heavy user, you're just going to use this for the occasional, like watching YouTube videos, the occasional like calling and texting, you'll be completely fine. Now, this only works with GSM carriers here in the US. I have the unlocked model. I've been using Mint Mobile. I am always switching my SIM card. So right now, if you notice, it's not in. And I know some people do comment that it's not in here, but during my time it was. Briefly, I switched back to my Galaxy S24 Ultra, and I'm going to switch back to the Asus Zenfone 11 Ultra, put my SIM and do a long-term 1 month later type of, or 2 months, 3 months, however long it takes for me to fully get used to this device. But calling has been great. People from the other side have heard me perfectly fine. I hear the person calling me perfectly fine. They hear me. So it's been absolutely no issue at all. Mint Mobile does work with, uses T-Mobile. And I believe T-Mobile did buy out Mint Mobile too. So GSM, for me at least, has been perfectly fine. If you have like Verizon or whatnot, you're not going to be able to use it on here. The availability, $899 is the starting price, and it's the only configuration you're going to get. And I think it's a pretty decent priced phone. Again, it's the 11 Ultra. You're getting like really good stuff in here, really good specs, really good software, really good battery life, performance, decent cameras, actually a really nice built phone for $900. It undercuts. Now, some may argue that the Pixel 8 Pro is better or the OnePlus 12 is better, especially since the OnePlus 12 has a lot of the same specs, like number-wise, and undercuts it by price. And that's okay. Again, this does come down to preference too, but I've really enjoyed this and this color especially. So if you do want to check it out, I'll be leaving a link in the description down below. But honestly, Asus Zenfone 11 Ultra, it's an awesome phone, especially if you're looking for great battery life and awesome performance. The camera's pretty decent, and that's really it for me. Like, I'm getting good performance, good software, and really good battery life. I can use this. And if this was more than 2 years of software updates, I can recommend it even to more people, but that's just one of the big downsides it has. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to smash the like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel a lot. It will help push my content out to more people. And also be sure to check out my latest wallpaper pack. It is called Urban Glow. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below, as well as my other digital products like Notion templates that help me get work done for the channel. That's been it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.